You know what? Something tells me that that entire Man City squad would rather have been at a weekend concert on Sunday, because that got ugly. Just a subtle reminder that none of Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, or William Saliba started this game, and Arsenal were 2-0 up by half-time. Yikes. Calafiori inside the first minute, Havertz on 28, Odegaard 3 minutes into the second half. Martin Odegaard, for shame. The man sent Gianluigi Donnarumma back to Paris. The whiplash brought him back to Manchester. The only problem was that they were playing the game in Cardiff. Say what you want about the Community Shield, it is a glorified friendly, and the team that loses very often goes on to have a successful season. But after watching Man City play, good God, Mr. Maresca, one bald head does not replace another. Guardiola, gone. Bernardo Silva, who I've always said, who I always will say, was the most important player in the Guardiola era, gone. Rodri, pretty much out the door already. Just a reminder, Calvin Phillips is still on contract for 2 more years at Man City. I'm not giving you guys any ideas, but he's there. He's ready. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome back. The new season is upon us and I'm so happy. You know, I can replace my off-season depression with, regular in-season depression, but that's only when United plays this weekend. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Community Shield, Arsenal versus Man City, which was a bloodbath for the citizens. By the way, the season review video for last season is coming. It's now over an hour long, which is why it's taken so long to come out. Hopefully it's out by this Friday, but let's see. Subscribe if you haven't so you can catch that one when it comes out. But for today's video, we're going to talk about, let's start with Arsenal. Obviously the Premier League champions, after so long, so much promise, second place finishes, they finally got over the line. I feel like this is now a really scary situation for the league because according to a lot of people, the only thing that was missing from their locker was mentality and the belief that they could get it over the line. And now they have. With some great business to an already complete squad, they've signed Bruno Guimaraes, Christos Tzolis, who looked pretty good against City. And then there are rumors here and there about another striker coming in. We saw Julian Alvarez, we saw Vinny Jr., we saw now I think it's Victor Osimhen, who might be coming in. Who knows? In any case, this is already a title-winning squad. They're still refreshed. They're still great. It's a problem. For City, on the other hand, yes, they've lost Pep Guardiola. Everyone knew that there was going to be a real hangover-type period for this team, and I think it's going to get really bad. Personally, I rate Maresca, I really do, but I just think that there's just way too much turnover. I've already mentioned Bernardo Silva's gone, Rodri's gone, and it just seems like there is a really big task ahead, and I'm not going to do a predictions video. I never really do them for Premier League because I'm always wrong. I only do them for the World Cup, and look how that turned out for me. Man City have brought in a couple players and seem to be planning to bring in Enzo Fernandez, who would obviously be a fantastic boost to them, but it is 2026 still, and in my mind, the way my mind works, they signed Antoine Semenyo and Mark Guehi this year still in January, and I still consider them recent signings. So they're set up for success in a lot of ways. But even considering all of that, I think City are not going to finish within the top 3 this year. But let's see. Let's see how it goes. Like I said, it is the Community Shield. It's not really an important game. Obviously, it depends on who you're talking to. For Arsenal supporters, I think the fact that they've just won the Premier League and we're in a Champions League final means that this isn't super important to them, but it's nice to have. It's very nice to have, and obviously it's pretty nice to get one over on City in such an embarrassing way. Realistically, I think they're going to march on and retain, and I do back them to retain, but we'll get into that a bit later on. For City, it's clearly just glorified friendly. Not important, because why would it be for them? I think we're going to look back on this match in the next couple of months or whatever, and we're going to interpret it in one of 2 ways. Number one is it's going to be a bit of a moment where Maresca's side are trying to find their feet after so much transition before they bounce back and then get to the level that they're supposed to be, that a Man City side is supposed to be at. Or number 2, a precursor of things to come. And if I'm completely honest with you, I feel that it's more likely to be a precursor of things to come. I mean, we'll get into the match right now. Those Man City players were just awful, like everyone from top to bottom. The Man City defenders looked like they had just met each other in the car park before the match. Arsenal were just toying with City in many moments in this match. Whenever they had the ball, it looked like something dangerous was about to happen, which was just not the case whatsoever with Man City. Big shout out, first of all, before we get into like the play-by-play and the goals. Martin Odegaard, number 1. fantastic. Obviously, he's back to his form, from 2 years ago? He had a bit of an off year last year, which he was allowed to because everyone else on the team picked up. But I feel like he's going to have a very big this year. Hopefully, he stays injury-free. Let's see that happen. Bruno Guimaraes. I'm very jealous. I'm very, very jealous of Arsenal right now because for so long, Bruno Guimaraes has been the best thing for Newcastle, or just one of the players to watch, a really exciting player to watch with his tenacity, the way that he spreads the ball, his ability to turn and shift and just play in that midfield. And now he's doing it for Arsenal. I feel sick. We kick things off with Calafiori scoring after Lewis Skelly slips him through. 23 seconds on the clock. The quickest goal to ever be scored in Community Shield history, I believe. And this was just a fantastic prospect, and why I was so happy that football is back, because whenever we get an early goal like that, the game just opens up and it just feels fantastic. And that's exactly what happened. Man City came roaring back. I thought that they might get back in it, but they just never did. Arsenal were having their way with them, slapping them left, right, and center. 28 minutes comes through, and Kai Havertz scores. And that goal, it just looked way too easy. Ødegaard, who was involved with everything positive for Arsenal, clips it in. Solis, 1-for-1 replacement for Trossard, heads it across for Havertz, and Havertz probably shouldn't be scoring here. But Donnarumma had a howler of a game. It creeps underneath him and it's 2-0. And Man City were just so poor. It was obviously a combination of Arsenal being very good and Man City being not very good. Both can be true at the same time, but City were just giving the ball away so easily. Anytime that Man City actually got in and Haaland got a shot through or something happened, Raya was there to save it, or the ball just went completely wide. In my opinion, David Raya is the best Spanish goalkeeper in the world. Joan Garcia is a close second, and I think all of you know where I'm about to go with this. Both of them have World Cup winners' medals. Neither of them played a single second in the US just this last month. So very interesting prospects over there. And listen, David Raya, if anything, is refreshed. So get ready for a repeat of last year where he was the best goalkeeper in England. I firmly believe that is going to continue to be the case. Arsenal supporters were chanting to Maresca, "You're getting sacked," in the morning at halftime, only for Arsenal to come out in the second half and Martin Ødegaard to sit Donnarumma down and teach him a little lesson about composure. You know, there was a moment in this game that I think summarizes exactly how the afternoon went for Man City. Mateo Kovacic, who by the way he was all right. He wasn't good, he wasn't bad, he was all right. But there was a moment where he, in the second half, he does a bit of a cross-field pass from the bottom end of the field over to the left-hand side. I think he was trying to find Rico Lewis, if I remember correctly, but it just goes way wide. Nobody gets anywhere close to it. Nobody even does that, run up to the ball to try and get it because there might be hope for it. There was no hope. Seconds afterwards, Kovacic gets subbed off the game. That summarizes the afternoon for Man City. They were awful. So just a couple final things that I have in my notes over here that I want to just go through really quickly before we end this one off. City conceded at the beginning of both halves. Both of those goals were as a result of City just not being awake at all. You can see in the first goal, it's Kusanov to blame over here by not clocking on to Calafiori's run. For the third goal, again, some brilliant running by Calafiori over here to give these City defenders a lot to think about, which allows for Martin Ødegaard to get in over here in front of Vardiol, sits Donnarumma down and be done with it. There's just a lack of reactions and concentration over here. Kusanov was not very convincing at right back. He turned off completely, which allowed for Solis to come in behind him and then header it back for Havertz for Arsenal's second. But it's not only that. Both flanks were so exposed. I mean, most of Arsenal's attacks came through their right-hand side, whether it was from Madueke or Bukayo Saka when he came on later on, and City kind of had no response to it. Like I said, if the day were different and Saka were feeling a little bit different, Madueke even had a chance here in the first half or two, it would have been a really ugly scoreline. When he is at his best, Donnarumma might be the best shot-stopping goalkeeper on the planet, but everybody knows that he's nowhere near the best with ball at feet, and I think he's going to get really exposed this year. So many times over the last year, he put City in really bad situations because of his distribution, and we saw the same against Arsenal. We've already spoken about Martin Ødegaard, in my eyes, obviously man of the match. I think he was also official man of the match, but he cleaned up really well, not just in terms of goal scoring and goal creation. He was running everywhere. He nicked the ball off City's players right on the edge of Arsenal's box. I counted 4 times within the first 15 minutes. Brilliant game from him. David Raya deserves his plaudits too. Solis, good player too. Watch out for him. Let's see. I think he's 23 or 24. We'll have to double check that, but Yeah, Arsenal have a good squad. They really do. And I do expect them to retain the title this year. I think that they are by far and away the strongest team in the league right now. They are definitely the most confident. And it will be a shock to me if they don't come out as Premier League champions. But anything can happen. Anything could happen. Listen, you can't really say that things are definite when we have people like Michael Carrick on the scene. I mean, we have Kobe Met. No, listen, we're not doing this. We're not doing this right now. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game. I'm really happy football is back. We're going to have a lot more consistent videos. I did have a bit of a break as well while making some of these more longer form ones and the season review, which is almost finished being edited. Like I said, it'll be a long one. It'll be a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't. We are going to have a fantastic year this year, and I'm very excited for it. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.